Hello, I'm IBX Toycat, and if you play Minecraft on the console a lot, especially in survival, it can get boring after a while, because with a lot of time in between updates and no mods, no crazy multiplayer game modes to keep you occupied, it can get a little bit boring, just doing the same thing day after day, etc. And that's why this video comes in, because I have that problem a lot too, and here are 5 separate game modes that you can play in survival with no mods, no downloaded worlds, no anything on the consoles that can keep the game interesting, fresh, and really just make the game fun for you again, and hopefully that's what it does. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to go into 5 separate game modes, what's good about them, what's bad, and rank them by order. So here is game mode number 5, and what I like to call it is small world survival. It's not very common because you know, it's just it's a slightly weird one to do, because basically what you have to do is you pick a world, any world, and when you spawn you kind of you know, work out your way coordinates are. So mine is -261, 145, and then you make it so you can only go to the edge of that 100 by 100 area, if that makes any sense. So for instance, the Z coordinate can only go up to 100. I can't go beyond that. That's against the rules. So here is the edge of the world I'm allowed to go to. If you want, you can make a dirt border around here eventually and do that sort of thing. And on the other side, with this X coordinate, I can only go up to -300 and -200. So this gives you a 100 by 100 area to play in. And why is that so good? Why would you want to play like that? So basically, it means that you're super restrained with resources, because whereas, you know, before you could just go get some sand from anywhere in the 5,000 by 5,000 world, now you're limited to just a small area, which is just 10,000 blocks wide. So this means all of your buildings get super compact, and you make a really cool compact world, and it's kind of just like, you know, just the feeling of having everything, you know, all spread apart, but everything is right next to each other, and it makes for an interesting, you know, world, because you have to play with limited resources, and it's different every time you play it. So that's something really cool about it. The downsides are you have to make up the borders yourself. You know, there's no automatic tool to do that, and that can make it difficult, and, you know, sometimes just seem frustrating and pointless. But I think it's a really cool game mode. It's definitely worth checking out if you've played the other 4, or if it just sounds like your exact thing. So let's move on to number 4. Okay, so next up is SuperFlat Survival. So, if you're familiar with the SuperFlat world option, it's basically meant for creative things, but you can play it in survival if you want to, and it creates a very weird experience. Because, of course, with SuperFlat, there's just 3 layers. You dig down 2 layers or 3 layers of dirt, and then you're straight at bedrock. And that makes some very interesting things, because the only real source of any resources are these NPC villages here, because otherwise you've just got dirt and nothingness besides the mobs to farm. And this means if you want to farm anything, you've got to use the villages, and it makes some things really difficult to get. And it means that the MC village, blacksmith chest, are the only source of diamonds and iron you can get, as well as other rare ores, and it's a really, really interesting experience, because you're playing with, you can get, like, right now I have a diamond sword and a diamond shovel, but you can, you know, you're playing with limited resources otherwise, and it makes for a really, really weird experience. I've been live streaming it a little bit recently, and it's like you have to make a tree farm if you want to get any wood, which is the only real material you can make. There's unlimited amounts of dirt, but cobblestone can only be made through cobblestone generators, which are so hard to get because you need buckets, which need iron, and yeah, it's just a really, really weird game mode, and it's a lot more challenging than it seems, even though it seems like it's really simple. Yeah, the game gets really based on what you can farm, what you can trade with MC villagers, so you can get emeralds from trading like wheat with them, and then that allows you to get some things you can't get otherwise, so like cookies, like melons, like, you know, not flint, that's awful, but like shears and stuff like that, and yeah, it's a really, you have to kind of trade your way up if you want to get some of the rarer resources, and it's interesting to see what you can get done. So yeah, SuperFlat Survival, a very, very weird experience, kind of like that one. The downsides to it, though, is you know, it's quite limited. You can't do everything because you don't have every resource, but you know, you can actually get to the Nether eventually, which is interesting because SuperFlat Nether is kind of weird, and that's kind of the goal, I'd say. Like, try and get to the Nether, that's your goal on this, which is you know, a goal that can be reasonably achieved with a bucket and water, but it's an interesting one. So that is SuperFlat Survival. Let's move on to number 3 on the list, shall we? Okay, so the third best game mode for survival to keep things interesting is it's gotta be hardcore. So hardcore isn't something built into the Xbox right now, but all you have to do is set your game mode to hard difficulty, and then as soon as you die once, you have to trust yourself in this one, you delete the world, or you can just not play it again, or like turn it into a hard difficulty thing. But basically, yeah, 1 life on hard difficulty, so everything does more damage, and also on top of that, you know, you only have 1 life, so you have to be so careful, and even then being careful isn't enough. So I did a hardcore series, that's what I'm showing you right now. This is after I've died, so I have next to nothing right now, and yeah, it's the most tense thing when you die, because you're just like, ah, no, all that work is just gone. No, 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 let me up, no. No, no. So, yeah, as you can see, it looks like a normal world, but the big difference is just how tense the whole game is. And if you want Minecraft to mean more, you want that, first feeling of everything. If someone kills me, I'm so, just completely gone. Then that's what hardcore is for, I think. It's hard mode, one life is just so intense in so many ways. And on top of that, it's just, you have no constrictions what you can do otherwise. So, if you want to build yourself, some houses, you want to be really creative and stuff, if you want to go ahead and fight the Ender Dragon, you can do this all in hardcore, and that's one of its strongest characteristics, in my opinion. It's just something you can do with any separate game mode. In fact, you can even combine hardcore with any of the other, 4 game modes that I've listed here, and that's one of the amazing things about it. So that's why I've done at least 2 or 3 hardcore series, and that's why I finished one recently. So yeah, that's what hardcore's got going on there. So. Basically, what's bad about hardcore then? Basically, you can't, do hardcore, to do hardcore, you have to kind of trust yourself, and, sometimes trusting yourself is difficult. Sometimes you're like, well, that death was awful, I'm not going to trust that, and although that's a benefit to some people, I think, you have to really trust yourself, and if you don't trust yourself, then maybe the other game mode's best for you. So, let's move on to game mode number 2. So, the second best game mode for Minecraft for the consoles in survival has got to be speedrunning. So, speedrunning is where, if you're not familiar with the term, or my channel, basically, it's where you take Minecraft for the console, whatever version you're playing, and you try to beat the game, or get to the ending, the literal end in Minecraft's case, so you have to beat the Ender Dragon in as little time as possible from spawning. So, that sounds like something you can do reasonably quickly, and you might be like, oh, I want to spend more than 10 minutes doing a challenge to get, but in reality, it is so difficult to actually do, because if you don't know, this is something a lot of people overlook, but to get to the Ender Dragon, you need at least 10 Ender Pearls, at least 10 Blaze Powder, which means you need to be in the Nether. You need to find at least 10 Endermen, which are fairly rare spawns. Then you have to find the stronghold, this thing I'm in right now, and then you have to head to the end portal. You have to put all the things in. I've already done most of this, luckily, right now, but you have to put most of the stuff in, and actually I need to make one more Ender Pearl. You need to put most of them in, and then you need to jump into the end. You need to kill the End Dragon, which can take, even in a good day, like 10 minutes by itself. So, yeah, this probably would have been a good time to bring a pickaxe. But, yeah, you get the point. So you have to kill the End Dragon, you have to do all that stuff in as little time as possible, and it's so very difficult. So, that's why I think it's the second best game mode, because it's one that even if you know what you're doing can take a couple hours, but it still does have an ending. So some people call it Race to the End, by the way. I believe I used to call it that at one point, but it's really fun to do speedrunning, because that means you have to challenge other people, try and beat their time, and yeah, it's a real challenge, and the interesting thing is, the best place to get Ender Pearls, that would be really cool, is the end, so it's kind of like a catch-22 thing. So, if you want to try and beat my time, I believe I did it 1 hour and 54 minutes on a live stream once, and that was with so much precision. That was with a seed where I knew with where the stronghold was, and all that sort of stuff. And even then, so difficult. So I hope you enjoyed number 2. Let's move on to the best game mode in all of survival Minecraft. Number 1. What's it gonna be? What have I missed so far? What do you think it's gonna be? That's what you'll find out in like 2 seconds. Okay, so the number 1 game mode for Minecraft for the consoles is one that's been around since the dawn of time, or the dawn of Minecraft, I guess. And basically it's one that's just a really simple game mode, but that has so much complexity in how you play it and stuff, and that is Survival Island, if you couldn't tell. So we're showing you this with the natural texture pack, and this is from a stream I did a while ago, and basically this is how it looks after a while. It looks just like a regular world, except it's kind of like compacted into a tiny island. So if you want to get anything done, you have to get on a boat and go it that way, and yeah, it just basically makes everything a little bit more difficult and so much more fulfilling. So basically, if you want to get food, you need to start farming yourself some wheat, because good luck spawning animals until you get yourself a really big pen like this, and even then you've got a pretty low chance, so you have to really go for a lot of effort to get any animal or anything to do with that. When it turns nighttime, good luck covering yourself. The first night is so difficult. There are so many different things to make this difficult, and that's what makes it so rewarding in my opinion, because everything, it's just survival. You can do pretty much anything you can do in survival, except you just need to go for more effort, and it's just so good. So this, as I said, this game mode has been around for a long time. It's been played since Minecraft beta on PC. So yeah, it's just a really old game mode that has so much to it. So if you want to give yourself some challenges, there's so much to do there. So trying to beat the Ender Dragon, again, so difficult because there's not land you have to throw your end pearls over, it's water. So you need a boat as well as a lot of IF enders. Some more challenges, get yourself some full diamond armor. Just doing anything. It's fun and difficult, and it's just the perfect blend. In my opinion, it's the best game mode. If you want to make it ×2 as good, you can play Hardcore Survival Island, which is what I've actually done with this Let's Play, and that's definitely an interesting mix of series. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked the 5 separate game modes. If you did, please like the video, let me know. If you're new around here, you can subscribe, and if you want to see Let's Plays like me playing all of these to get like more of a feel of it, I played pretty much all of these. I don't think I publicly played Small World Survival, but I think I played everything else, so I'll link in the description, like, you know, me playing all of these game modes, just in case that's something you want to see, even if you've subscribed or if you're not. So, yeah, one more time, subscribing keeps you up to date with all my videos, liking it helps me out a lot, and here's an outro which will hopefully calm you before the dulling blackness that is the end of the video.